Welcome to the No Guilt Fangirls podcast, where liking what you like is never a bad thing. Here's your host and head fangirl in charge, Patty Holiday. Hey y'all, welcome to the No Guilt Fangirls podcast. I'm your host and head fangirl in charge, Patty Holiday. And we are back with SCHITT'S Creek Season 6. This is Episode 3. And it's our spoiler-filled recap. With me, as always, is Jaime. Hey, Jaime.
Hey, just got in off my flight on Larry Air.
Yeah, Larry Air. That, when they first said it, I was like, wait, what did they say? I couldn't understand I didn't understand where we were going with that. But then we got there, and we'll tell a little bit about what happened with that. Just as a reminder for anybody who clicked on this on accident, we are recapping the entire season 6, which is the final season of SCHITT'S Creek. Yeah. And we're going to talk about each episode right after it airs. And there will be spoilers because we are basically going to talk about what happened, what we liked, what we didn't like, some of our favorite quotes, that sort of thing. If that is not something you're interested in yet, if that is, if you're not prepared to join in, I get it. Go ahead and pop on over to one of the other episodes that are out there. But if you're here with us, if you're following the show just like we are and need to talk about it and need to like decompress each and every episode, then you are in the right place because that's what we're going to do, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Jaime, give me your 30-second recap of what happened on episode 3.
Okay, so we open up to Alexis in a compromising position with Ted, which was quite funny. But then from there we go. I don't know if we're starting to see glimpses of what we're doing with Stevie next, but she is going ahead and going to a job fair for Larry Air. And she has talked David into going with her. So that ensues after that. Alexis gets a turtle named Ted.
Yeah, which is completely random, but also very Alexis.
Yes.
So,
So Alexis. And one of the big plot points, we finally start to see some of the other gang back in town. And it looks like we are trying to move full speed ahead on buying that second motel to create an empire. So yeah, those are the big moments.
yeah, that pretty much sums it up. I will have to throw in one caveat there, one edit. You said that Stevie takes David along. Let's be honest here. David
That's
kind of
true.
said, I'm going because I can get this job way over you. I'm way more qualified. Watch me go. And that's not exactly what happened, David.
Yes, and it to jump ahead, it kind of gave me one of my favorite lines was when we walk in and David is dressed very un-David, and Stevie asked him if he is going for an interview as a job as a youth pastor. Which the idea of David being a youth pastor is about the funniest thing I've ever heard.
Right. Well, it reminds me of which season was it where he says the idea of me being somebody's life coach should terrify you.
Yes.
kind of along the same lines, to be honest, David. But yeah, well, the funny part is that it comes, and we've seen in the, I guess, the lead up to the show or whatever, we saw David wearing these clothes, and a couple of us online were like, is he wearing Patrick's clothes? I think he's borrowed clothes out of it, because David does not own an Oxford button-down shirt, like
Right.
probably
Absolutely.
never has, right?
Or a pair of pants that are fitting.
Yes, right. And then he does say something along the lines of, it is my boyfriend's or my fiance's outfit or whatever. So we do get that confirmed that he is dressed a little bit like Patrick in this episode, and it's to great effect. It definitely, I mean, come on, Dan Levy wears anything gorgeously,
Oh my
but
gosh.
I have to admit that seeing David in this made me, had to keep doing a double take, like, what's going on here?
Yes, it threw me off a little bit. It did throw me off.
Okay, so since we're already talking about Stevie and David, they go off and they do this job interview where David thinks he's nailing it right and left, and he's not. And, Stevie is quietly just trying to figure out what she wants to do next is what it looks like, and what that appears to be is she's gonna be a hostess or a stewardess or whatever. I think they call it a hostess in this case,
Yes.
for this for this airline, Larry Air. And all that we know about Larry Air, we know 2 things. There are no seat changes and nothing is complimentary.
It's not in our corporate vocabulary.
Which was awesome, 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 awesome. Which I think also this scene gave us one of the best lines of the night. Do you wanna say it? Do you want me to say it?
You can go ahead.
I love this. Taking the peanuts, Carol. David, says he's because he basically gets told you didn't get the job, and so he's like, "Well, I'm leaving then, and I'm taking these complimentary peanuts." And she's like, they're not complimentary," and he like bites back at her, "Taking the peanuts, Carol," and it was hilarious. Very, very, very good little wrap up of what's going on there. Interesting. Still, I'm still waiting to feel something about Stevie. I still just feel like her character's not being given a whole lot. I know this is part of her arc and this is obviously the movement forward that we're going in, but it doesn't seem like she's super cares that much about this job either. Like she
Yeah.
seems a little bit ambivalent, right?
Yeah, and it felt to me like just kind of jumping onto the opposite end of the spectrum because,
Mhm.
now she's stuck behind a desk all the time and then, she's like, I want to go out and see everything in the whole world, you know? And it just didn't feel like it was her.
Yeah, it was I don't know, it just it's a I know they have to wrap up the season and we can't have, 52 episodes of Schitt's Creek season 6, right? So, I'm sure there is some choices that had to be made, so I'm not, but like I mentioned one of the other things, I've just never Stevie's character has been hard for me to completely get on board with, and thus far I'm still just going, "Okay, so that's what's happening with Stevie." Like I'm just not jumping up and down yet with excitement over this plot line. I'm hoping that changes. I'm hoping once she has this excitement of taking this initial step and getting out there on her own that I will feel more about it. I don't know, but that's where we are at this point. Meanwhile, let's talk about Mr. Rose and Roland going to try to get the loan. They had
Yep.
decided that they want to buy, Mr. Rose has decided he wants to become a chain, I guess, and he wanted to buy another motel, and so he goes to the bank trying to get a loan, and they come back and basically tell him, "Nope," because he doesn't have any assets.
Yes, and like he said, how can you get any assets if you don't have a loan? And how can you get a loan if you don't have any assets?
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
kind of quite the quandary he's in.
Yeah, and you could see the disappointment and the, feeling of failure, across his face, which, can we just take a moment and talk about Eugene Levy's face and how expressive he is? And he tells so much just through his eyebrows.
Yes,
Like a whole, all these emotions go across his face just by those eyebrows. He
yes,
absolutely knows how to work every bit of it, which obviously is what makes him such a great actor, comedian. Just loved it. But yeah, so this was that we had this disappointing situation happen, but it did set up the next step, which was that they all decided as a group, the Roses and the Shits decided that maybe there's somebody in town that has some money that can be their loan, that they can get a loan through. And their eyes fall on Bob
dressed head to toe in leather.
in leather. He's like a biker dude, right? Moira has like a great line. What does she say to him? She says something about how does it feel being dressed head to toe in a God, I wrote it down. Now I can't find it, of course. Head to toe in a Holstein or in
Oh yes,
like as
yeah,
a Holstein or something along those lines. Basically pointing
yeah.
out that he's dressed in cow flesh. But yeah. So as it turns out though, this brilliant idea that they all had to try to get money off of Bob has one big flaw to it.
Dun dun dun.
Mhm.
Gwen has left him for the pastor.
Gwen left Bob. Can y'all who would have thought that that would have happened?
And you know what? I guess we all should have known with that fancy, expensive yoga gear she's been wearing lately.
Right. Right, they pointed that out that she's been doing some crazy things, and, yeah, and what did was it Twilight? No,
Jocelyn.
it was Jocelyn when she says that she had the holy experience or something along
Yes.
those lines.
Yes.
So, yeah, sad to say some hard times are now befallen to Bob, and Bob basically comes back and says, "Actually, I need a loan because they're coming after the house, and I don't know what to do," and again, this scene all plays out at a dinner at the Schitz house, and uh, Moira, what was with that wig? What
Oh
was
my
with the green wig?
gosh.
Look, she's had some crazy wigs, but this one is not it. This one, I was probably the first one that I said, "Oh no, bad choice, y'all, bad, yuck." Like
Yeah.
I couldn't like this one at all. It's green.
Yeah. And at first I thought it was more like, the lighting or my eyes playing tricks on me, but no, no,
No,
that was
it's green.
that was a
It's
hot green mess. I
yeah,
didn't I didn't love it.
it was not loving this one as much. But anyway, that's when we discover and we find out this whole story about Bob and Gwen, and so now that money's off the table. So they've struck out twice. They
Yes.
still can't buy this other motel.
Yes, and I would just like to say that I think I'm gonna have to make some sloppy Jocelyn's for dinner tomorrow night.
Yeah, you know what though? Actually, that sounded really good when she said that. I was like, "Ooh, it's been a long time since I had a sloppy Joe," but I'll now call them sloppy Jocelyn's.
There you go.
Oh, so as it turns out, back at the motel, I think we get Moira, and Moira is basically saying she's trying to put a good face on this thing, and she says, "Look, um, something good is coming. There has to
Mhm.
be, something along those lines. And oh, good is coming. It has to. That's what Moira says. And
Yes.
I was like, you know what, Moira, you're right. It's going to be okay. I like that she was being positive because it's so easy for Moira to go the opposite direction, right?
Just be a little bit dramatic.
Something like that. So yeah, I have to say that I was impressed that she was still being positive and supportive. But of course, she sees this as a means to the ends. Like she thinks that getting an extra motel and getting some more money coming in gets them out of Schitt's Creek faster.
Well,
So
it
that's also her thing.
yeah, one of the things I wanted to point out that I don't know if you noticed, but when they were in the diner, the roses and the shits, um, when Johnny came in to tell Moira about, bad news or whatever, he said, "Our plan is going to have a setback. It might take another year or so to get where we want to be." And I was like, does that mean we want to be out, or does that mean we want to be building our new empire?
Hmm.
I don't know. I couldn't tell what that.
I kind of feel like Johnny has one opinion on that, but I think Moira sees it as out, out, out. Like she
Yep.
wants to be done. She wants to be gone. So we'll see. We'll see. But
Yeah.
yeah, so that happened with them. And how this finally wraps up is Moira and Johnny gets a phone call that says that motel that he thought of buying, it's been sold. Somebody bought it. It's done. He's lost that option. He's like, that's okay. I'll keep looking. I'll try to find something that's a little less expensive, maybe. And we'll find something. We'll make this work. And that's when Roland and Jocelyn show up at the door with a bottle of champagne saying they are their brand new business partners.
Yes, they showed up with the Zampane.
The champagne. And Moira, once again, with the best lines. If that's not a cause for champagne, then I don't know what is.
Yes,
Basically, the idea of being business partners with the shit family, it was probably not very high on her list, I don't think.
I would agree. I would agree, but boy, did Johnny seem just overjoyed. He gave Roland just the biggest, heartiest hug.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, I think they make a good team. I mean, they're funny, but they'll work it out. So yeah, that's what we have going on there is we have now
Yeah.
two motels. We have Stevie who's leaving, however, which is still odd. We did not get any Patrick in this episode at all.
Yeah, I missed him.
I did too. And then at the very end, or to wrap the third kind of spoke in this wheel of conversation up, we had a whole situation with Ted and Alexis going on. And what I love about this is that it just shows how changed Alexis is between season 1 to season 6. She's a completely different person.
She is. She is. It was so adorable that she bought that turtle, to because she had read that that brings couples together when they have a shared interest, and then proceeds to lose it within, like, a day. You know, it scaring Twyla because she thinks she lost it in the cafe, but not to worry. Ted the turtle shows his face in the closing seconds of the episode. So we all can sleep well tonight knowing Ted the turtle is safe and sound.
That's right. That's right. Ted and Alexis apparently are celebrating their anniversary, and of course, they're still apart. And the Wi-Fi has been spotty in the Galapagos, and so they just haven't had a lot of time to connect. And Alexis doesn't like that. You can tell that she's used to a lot of attention, and so having a relationship with some space between them is weighing on her. And I have to give it to Twyla. They're giving Twyla just this very sage. Um, Moments where she comes in with these subtle suggestions and commentary on life that basically she puts her at ease and tells her,
Yeah.
look, Alexis, this may be you might don't be surprised if you come out on the other side, stronger than you were, and you're just going through a rough patch right now, and that sort of thing. And so Twyla came in with some good help there, and then further helped by partnering with Ted, and they set up basically a FaceTime anniversary date there in the cafe, which is really cute also. So,
It was very adorable. Very adorable.
mhm.
And then she was peeking over Alexis's shoulder.
She was.
Just to show she's still Twyla.
Well, yeah, no, she's always going to be, I think. But yeah, so we have some positive long distance situation going on with Alexis and Ted, but I think pretty overall it's going to be okay. And then next week they set us up with we're going to get to see the trailer
Oh my
to
gosh.
to the movie, to Moira's movie, and I can't wait. I cannot wait to see that one. Overall, I liked this episode enough, but I can't say it's been my favorite. I think last week I liked a lot more. I laughed a lot more. This one had a lot more feels to it, though. A lot
Yeah.
more touchy feely kind of stuff happening. Again, though, as much as I love watching Stevie and David together, I'm struggling with Stevie. Like I can't I need I don't know. I need them. I need something to happen there, I guess. I don't know. I maybe it's I want her and Mr. Rose. I feel like they're disconnected, and I really liked them together. I liked their scenes together and their bonding together and how they worked together. And like when he went into the hospital and she freaked out
Yeah.
so much, and that was the sweetest thing. I really did like all of that. So it's not that I don't like Stevie or I don't like, the character. Just so far in this season, I want more, and I haven't gotten it yet.
Yeah, I feel like the puzzle pieces fit for them where she kind of needs that parental figure and he kind of enjoys being able to parent that he can't
Mhm.
necessarily do with his own children because they're off the rails. So
Well,
I think that's kind of what why that dynamic works so well, you
yeah,
know.
yeah. It does work. It does work. So that's my hope for next week is that if Stevie's plot line is continuing along, I hope there's a little bit more of Stevie and Johnny together because I do like them together, even if they're saying goodbye or he's helping her move on. I can accept that, but I just like them on scene together. I just like them together. So anyway, we'll see. We'll see. Anything else? Any final thoughts on this episode?
No, I kind of feel the same as you. I think, it was good. And I know that for like you said, to move this story and kind of close all the boxes and everything, we need to have some glue, which isn't necessarily as bright and shiny as the bows and wrapping paper, but it was a good episode, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next week.
Oh, me too, me too. All right, well, we will be back next week with episode 4 of season 6. We're gonna watch, we're gonna talk, and we'll put it all up here on the podcast for you guys. If you have any comments or you want to reach out with us and give your opinion on anything we said, you can find us both on Twitter. I'm at No Guilt Life, and Jamie, spell yours out because I always spell it wrong. I spell your name wrong.
Almost everyone does. It's
Okay.
it's JaimieSather. Jamie Sather.
It's the I. That I wanna put it somewhere else.
Yep. Yep. That's what happens when you get a Minnesotan spelling.
Alright, alright. Well, anyway, you guys can find us on Twitter. We are there, and we're happy to talk about, if hey, if you think we got it wrong, if you think there's something else that we should have been saying, let us know because, we're fangirling Schitt's Creek this entire season, and I'm so excited we're doing this.
Yay!
All right. Well, thanks for fangirling with us, and come back and fangirl with us again real soon. Bye.
Bye.